So it's 10 degrees outside and my hands are frozen, so I kind of did the blade deals for us in the house because I don't think I'm going outside for a while today. But you can see the shape on them. There's like a 45-degree angle going both ways. I think overall from here to here was like 9 inches. So I'll put like a 6-inch blade, and then I'm going to embed this into a rectangular handle in there. So I'm going to make 2 of them. I'll cut them at some point today, but I don't know how far I'll get on them because it is cold. Well, it's time to do some cutting, so I'm just going to do a little bit of this, and then we'll hit the speed up button for you. Well, you get the idea anyway. I'll be back after we do all this and figure out a way to, hopefully I figured out the way to make the volume lower when I did that. We'll figure it out. So, okay, so you can see that's kind of what I got left of that saw blade. I got enough to make another small one. I made these 2 pretty much identical for the most part. I'm going to put them on here and kind of get rid of those edges, and then I'm going to drill some holes in here to kind of peg them. And then I don't know, I thought about making them round, but I had, you know, of course, from this, so I made this one. So I'm going to send that one to you also. And then I had this piece cut off, so it was like in between these, so I'm just going to use that one for myself for now. We'll see how they work. They're not very thick, which is kind of what I was looking for. They are probably, oh man, just over, probably a 1/16 of an inch, maybe just a little bit over. So anyway, I'm going to kind of grind these down, use a pair of pliers to hold them, and that's where we're at. Okay. I'll probably speed this up too for you, but here we go. So I usually don't wear gloves when I'm that close to anything. I thought about wearing them because there's some sharp edges, but it was too they were too bulky for this. This was moving around too much, so you saw how I did it there real fast. But anyway, you can see the shape of them, you know, now kind of starting to come together. So now what I'll do is I'll go over to the drill press and I'll measure this. I'll probably make these about 6 inches long. These I might make a little less because they're smaller, they're skinnier. Maybe make these about 4 inches, and I'll drill a couple of holes. Hopefully my drill bits get through this stuff, because even though it's just, I don't know, it's some pretty tough stuff. So anyway, I'll set up over there, and I'll show you what I'm doing next. I'll show the layouts quickly. Anyway, okay, so I got these kind of shaped where they need to be. I've got some 1/8-inch holes drilled in them. I got to go to tomorrow and I'm gonna get some brass 1/8 inch for these for sure. I'll probably get 3/16 for these. They're a little bit bigger, but I got to clean up still. You know, it's a saw, so it's got some crap on it. And then I'm probably going to harden the ends on these things because, you know, you can take the carbide off, and those are the hardened parts on these. I'm not exactly sure. They're not high-speed steel, but I'm going to harden the ends. So it'll be a little bit difficult to sharpen, you know, of course, like some of the other tools are, but you should be able to, but they'll hold an edge a lot better, but they'll, of course, be more brittle and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm going to work on the handles a little bit. I got some wood that guy gave me, and I kind of I started making that fence, but I don't have enough stuff to finish it or the right size screws and stuff like that. But I got it, so at least I can cut on a flat board now anyway. So I'll take a video of that stuff too. You can kind of see what I got there. So I kind of put this together. This is just, I think it's like MDF board or something. It's what we used when we didn't have countertops, but it's all I had. I didn't have any 3/4 plywood, but it worked good. I got a little track running under here. and it fit in real snug. What I'm going to do is, I only had this metal right now, but I got it clamped in, and I'm going to cut this down. And it's kind of a cool piece of wood, so I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to cut this part off, and I'm going to keep this because I might put this in epoxy or something. It's just really cool. It's just one of those things that guy gave me. He says it's some kind of elm burl is what he's got written on here from '06. So anyway, I figure I'd make the handles out of that. It's got some cool stuff. So anyway, I'm just going to cut this thing in half, and then I'll turn it over because it's not really straight right here. So I'm going to try to do the best I can. Keep it, flush on one part at least so it goes through straight, and then turn it over and do the rest. So I'll just do that real quick. So they're about that size, and I don't know if you can see it, but they're not exactly flush with each other at all, right? The board is cupped this way, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the saw like this with the cup side against that and knock off the high side. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to resaw it this way. I'm only going to get 2 handles out of this, I think, so I'll have to find something for the other 2, but anyway, that's what I'm going to do next. So now I'll turn it over and I'll adjust this again and I'll cut it a couple of pieces this way. This one got jacked up on me. It grabbed a knot or something in here and just wandered, so I don't know. I may wind up using I don't know. I'm sure if I make it thin enough, I'll be able to walk that all the way down. So anyway, I'll come back after they're cut. So I got those 4. I'm like on top of this thing. I know it. I got those 4 cut. I definitely got that's the 1/4-inch blade. I don't know. I'm kind of lazy sometimes. I probably should have put the 1/2-inch blade I got on there, but it's okay. Because once I'm going to put them on the belt sander again and try to get them really flat. And then, like one side of each one of these is good. It's just the other, I don't know. Anyway, I got to drill holes in it, and then I'm going to try to cut them a little bit further down the shape on this guy. This works okay. The problem is that it tilts like this way because it's part of that galvanized stuff that I had when they did the carport. So I need to build an actual up and down fence. And then for this kind of stuff, I'm just going to have to learn to take the blade off and put the 1/2-inch one on there. It'll just be so much better. I mean, I just trashed several of these pieces. And yeah, I know I got it for free, but I hate wasting stuff anymore. So anyway, I'm going to kind of mark these out a little bit over there, and then I'm going to drill some holes, and I'll show you what they look like in the rough form. Okay, new idea. This didn't work out like I needed it to. These things, I can't get these things sanded flat. I got that little 3-inch belt grinder. That's all I got. So what I'm going to do is I found this piece of this nice redwood here, and it's flat on one side. So I'm going to cut it like this, and I'm going to cut it down here because I can get like 1 handle, 2 handles out of this. It'll be a little thicker, and then I'll be able to actually work with it. Right now, there's no working with that stuff. And then I'll probably use this part for one of those other smaller handles. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do instead. I need to drop that down first. Too high. So that's much better. There's like no gap there now, that little bit, but I'm going to put that at one of the ends and probably cut it off. And I mean, it's just a lot cleaner. So I'm going to sand that down a little bit anyway, try to get a little bit more flush, and then I got to drill some holes through these things so everything matches up. Okay, so in every sense of the the word, this project's been a nightmare because I use 10-inch blades, right? Which is, it's a good size, but what happens is I can't, the shank into the handle is not long enough, right? So I have to put it inside of a handle. So you can see I got this gap, right? When you do that, there's a gap. So what do you do with the gap, right? I'm like, well, I've seen where people have made handles out of just a piece of wood, and then they cut a slit in it, and they put the blade in there, and then they pin it, and then you got that handle, right? Sounds like a good idea. However, when you cut with the saws, like you know, the carbide tips are wider than the blade. So now when I did that and I stuck it in there, I got this wobble. And that's just not going to work. I don't want to put any pressure on this thing. And also I cut it, and I don't know what kind of wood. It was kind of cool. There's some burn marks from the saw. But the damn thing had cracks all in the middle of it, right? You can't see it until you start cutting. So that became trash. So then it's like, well, now what the hell do I do? So I had some kind of wood, and I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter what it is. It was like twice as thick as this or whatever, and I cut strips on the bandsaw. The fence with that metal sucks, so that's definitely the next step there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the saw where it needs to be, and I'm going to put 3 of these in here and glue them in place. Okay, they're not going to be perfect. I mean, well, they will once it's all cut and sanded down, but I'm going to glue them in place, and then I'm going to put the other one on top and sandwich that in like that. So hopefully that works, because right now it's aggravating the shit out of me. So, all right, I'll let you know how it comes out later.